Man City's perfect defeat. Man City lost to Southampton and officially bid farewell to the first title of the season, but it was the perfect defeat for Pep Guardiola to look back on his team and himself. Too busy 3 times, it's time for Pep to realize what is the best version for Man City to conquer more important heights. Worst ever. At St. Mary's, Pep Guardiola uses a squad that is not the strongest of Man City, but not too weak. Only one young talent had a chance to play from the start, is Cole Palmer. Meanwhile, every line of the blue shirt team has a big star. In defense, Pep carefully launched 3 familiar names: Kyle Walker, Joao Cancelo, and Aymeric Laporte. Above them, Ilkay Gundogan dominates the midfield. Man City's trio of strikers Jack Grealish, Phil Foden, and Julian Alvarez is the dream of most teams. However, the not-so-bad squad in theory put on an unbelievably bad performance against Southampton. During the first half, they held the ball 72%, but only finished 3 times and never hit the target. This figure is far behind Southampton, who only had 28% of possession but shot 6 times, hit 4 times and scored 2 goals. Man City was so lackluster that English football expert Jamie Redknapp had to say that this was the worst match I've seen of Man City under Pep Guardiola. According to him, Man City players have been completely left behind and are always behind in 2-ball situations. Man City's performance became much worse when they learned that Southampton were at the bottom of the Premier League table after 4 defeats under the new coach Nathan Jones. This team had lost to Nottingham exactly 1 week before. The second half showed that Man City's problem is not simply about people. Even when Pep Guardiola brought in Nathan Ake, Manuel Akanji, Kevin De Bruyne, Erling Haaland, and finally Rodri, Man City still could not hit the target once. In the last 30 minutes of the game, the visitors played with almost their strongest squad, but were helpless against Southampton. That was clearly not the reaction Pep wanted, even though Man City had at least 2 times sent the ball very close to Gavin Bazunu's goal. Perfect failure. Pep Guardiola lost a quarter-final in the domestic league for the first time in his military career. During the previous 14 years, the Spanish coach was either eliminated early, or advanced to the semi-finals and finals of the domestic cups. This is the 3rd match after 379 matches under Pep Guardiola. Man City cannot finish on target. The previous 2 have also come in cup competitions, including against Manchester United in the 2016/2017 Carabao Cup and Liverpool in the 2017/2018 Champions League. However, this was clearly the worst performance, because Southampton are at a much lower level than MU or Liverpool. Round 1 at St. Mary's saw Pep's experimental plan completely bankrupt. Kyle Walker showed that he can only play as a central defender in a system of 5 defenders. Phil Foden disappears when he is free kick. Cole Palmer is too young to start, especially when he has to follow the wing. In 45 minutes on the field, this 20-year-old talent only accurately passes 6 times, 67% rate, but loses the ball 5 times. Julian Alvarez is not yet qualified to become the new Sergio Aguero when he is lost between the tall pair of Southampton's central defenders. Meanwhile, Calvin Phillips and Sergio Gomez are on their way to becoming the worst signings under Pep Guardiola. The good news for City is that Pep Guardiola has once again clearly seen what he has in hand. Man City has the most depth of power in the Premier League, but that doesn't mean they can win every match regardless of the arrangement of the Spanish strategist. Pep's change in the second half shows that he has realized his mistake, and like Pep's character, he will not make the same mistake in the future. The second problem, even when the most important links are Rodri, De Bruyne and Haaland on the field, Man City is still deadlocked. This is the problem that makes the Spaniard a headache in the coming weeks. The citizens have changed a lot on Haaland and are gradually depending on the Norwegian striker. If Pep finds a solution to this problem, Man City can aim for big titles at the end of the season. Pep Guardiola was different. Another positive reason for the defeat at Southampton mentioned by Man City fans, is that Pep Guardiola's perfectionism is no more. The Spaniard did not live or die, launching a strong squad in minor tournaments like the Carabao Cup despite the previous schedule. He has kept Stones, De Bruyne, and Haaland in 2 consecutive matches in domestic cups because in front of Man City and and Tottenham. Then they will soon face Arsenal, all in the Premier League. There is no reason for Pep to skip these matches to win enough against Southampton.